Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Minister of Education and Technical Education, Dr. Reda Higazi, said the return of students to regular attendance in schools is a strategic goal in accordance with Egypt's Vision 2030, given schools' role in building the students' character. Well, to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have this phone with Dr. Nabil Gaad, education expert. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
How are you, sir? Well, Dr. Gaad, can you talk to us about to what extent is President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's interest in developing technical education and vocational training tracks?
Well, first of all, let me address a word of thanks for the political leadership for adopting due care to the technical and vocational training that is so important and significant these days all over the world. And since we have this care, we have to work hard, we have to have a plan, well-knotted plan to follow, because as a matter of fact, everywhere, especially in Japan and Germany, the technical and vocational education is of major importance, of supreme importance, that and it's the cornerstone for any development and progress in our present world.
Yes.
We have to encourage all our new generation learners to be not only traditionally minded, but to be vocationally minded. Let me say that maybe abroad and even maybe here, those technicians and those who are very clever in technology may get very high chances for jobs and high salaries, high esteem. It's our role, and maybe the role of the media as well, to encourage such students not to join only the normal education leading to university, and they will later on have not a good chance to get jobs, but the job market maybe will absorb lots and lots of the graduates of the technical and vocational education.
Yes, Dr. Gaad, how does the private sector play an important role in upgrading the level of vocational training?
Well, the private sector, as in all fields of life, can do this important job by supporting the technical and technological or vocational education. It's part and parcel of their services rendered to the society, not only in the industrial productions and what we need, but this is the future of our new generation. They are the fruits of our efforts nowadays. And since they are taking part as a private sector, they will not only support the economy, but they will support the development of education in the very near future. And I think this can be afforded by preparing training sessions for cadres for the future. And these trainers should be of high qualified ability. Let me mention something else I just remembered.
Yes.
That we have never heard of educational centers as the students usually go to, and their parents, poor parents, pay lots and lots of money for this. I haven't heard so far of an educational center for training the vocational students or the technical and technological students. Maybe simply because they can't have the ability to supply them with all the equipment needed for training in such a thing. So I have heard recently so many of the parents said, let us cut the story short, and instead of spending billions of Egyptian pounds for the centers, for instance, we can join these technical schools. I've heard about technical school for goldsmiths,
yes,
to be goldsmiths, to be plumbers maybe, to be nursing. You know something? I was in Britain before, and I heard that the salary of the nurse is higher than the salary of the physician. So this vocational job, I think, will result in very good income for the new generation later on.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. Dr. Gaad, to what extent does the technology schools contribute to finding an educational system in which the students would be able to combine the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics and improve behavior in dealing with others?
Yes. I like it, the last couple of words they said, improving behavior.
Yes,
This is the major point.
yes,
In the past, you remember that it's called only the Ministry of Education, MOE. But now they added and the vocational education. So this addition actually, having not only technology or engineering or math, as you remember, but it's for improving the conduct of these young youth. Because in life generally, they deal with others. They deal with their classmates. They deal with their teachers. So if they have a very good conduct and behavior, that will help them a lot achieve and advance in their careers. Now I can safely say that we work not for today or for the coming years, 2030, as His Highness, the Minister of Education, Dr. Rida Gaad, mentioned yesterday in the People's Assembly, but it is for far ahead than that. It's a vision for the future, and we all back him up and back the leadership, the political leadership up in their adoption of this policy that will lead for sure to very fruitful and wonderful results in the future.
yes. Doctor, you've mentioned the example or the role model of in Japan of the technical education applied in Japan. So, how do you see the importance of the role of the Japanese schools here in Egypt in developing education?
Well, I think this needs very good preparation.
Yes.
To have good cadres, whether Egyptian experts in this field or even foreigners. We heard about the Japanese schools now, which President Sisi has really admired a lot when he visited Japan some years ago. And I'm so pleased that they are now open or inaugurated in different parts, and they will increase. And I remember the Mubarak call policy or system of education that I think still running nowadays. So to develop and progress for this program, we have to study and evaluate how far we have succeeded and what are the drawbacks or the weaknesses that happen to avoid them in the future and to maybe replace them with the most up-to-date. You know something that nowadays technology advances not every day, but maybe every single minute. You can find just a simple example of the cell phone we have in our hand. Every year or every month, maybe there is something more up to date, more advanced, more facilities. So the facilities we give in cooperation with the private sector, as you mentioned earlier, will give a very good push forward. And we always should have the logo, forward ever, backward never. Except backward if we have something to benefit from. So we have a combination between the two, the present, the past, preparing for the future.
Yes. Doctor, to what extent is the developing education would qualify the researchers and the students for the labor market? I mean, the technical education, the stage of the secondary stage in the technical education would prepare the student to face or to what the labor market needs?
Right. As I have already mentioned, encouraging such students to join these vocational and technical schools with the help of their parents who sacrifice a lot of money not sent spent on the educational center, but on these schools. Even if it is a 6, 7, 8, even 10,000 pounds a year, they pay more than that in the educational center. But we have to encourage them to be having the creative thinking, and this creative activity will really support them a lot to advance, and they have not only the theoretical courses they study, but they have the practical. I think most of the time, maybe over 50% of the course duration, they have it in the lab, in experiments, and real things. When they practice makes perfect, as we all know. So what we encourage them to do is that to give due care to their study, since the government or the leadership is giving this due care to them, sacrificing a lot of it. Any center for education does not have, if it's a technical education, but do not have, these centers do not have, I think, all the equipment needed for the development. Not all the expenses that they can do, and they will, as I said, I have never heard of it, and I wish I would never heard of vocational, educational, private centers sucking the income of most of our poor parents who sacrifice everything for their kids or their children.
Yes, yes. So, Doctor, also the information technology, how, to what extent could it contribute to developing education and qualifying, make the young people more qualified for work? The information technology.
Sure. This vocational education, for sure, 100%, I'm dead sure that this trend, this new trend, if it is encouraged by us as parents, or even by you as the mass media, giving awareness of the importance of such things, that for using new experiments, using new methods, new techniques, well-qualified trainers, as I said, that will help them in the future, as I said, to have a very good job in the market later on.
Yes.
I remember in one of the private universities, I'm
Yes,
not going
yes.
to mention, before the end of the academic year, I see some booths in the
Yes, Doctor.
in the for on the campus, the university campus, of different famous establishments and companies that try to hire the grads, the new
Yes.
grads, even before finishing their courses. So they pick them up, and this is something that actually leads me and all the people in charge of the education.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information, Dr. Nabil Gaad, education expert. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. Well, with this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this episode of The Breakfast Show. I was in the company of my colleague, Inji Maher. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.